All right, everybody. This is Mr. J. Spectre is out. It's a Spies versus Mercs clone, new game in the genre, if you will. The gameplay is fine, but there are a handful of UI and lobby issues that you need to be aware of in order to have a good time, and I'm going to show you now, starting with some of the graphical settings. The first thing I'll go into is settings. As far as audio, input, and game settings, those all save no matter what. As soon as when you boot the game up and you come back in, those will all stay the same. However, the video settings will not. The video settings you'll have to reset every time you boot into the game. There's two different things that I recommend doing. Obviously, after turning off motion blur, unless you're one of those, uncheck both of these. Go into DLSS. There's two different things, like I said, I recommend doing. You can either, this very first menu right here that pops up by default, you can press this, and I would recommend putting that on auto. That seems to be the best as far as the best performance and video quality. If you find that's not good for you, play around with some of these settings. Keep in mind though, I don't know why this is, but as you keep clicking things and checking things and unchecking things and playing with things, your performance is going to degrade over time. The game doesn't like it when you do settings, leave the menu, come back to the menu, do the settings again, and change them and alter them. It doesn't like that right now, and it has to do with the devs using a DLSS plugin. They're currently working on getting them all this stuff set into the menu so that you can, so all of these things will save and you don't have to worry about this. But for now, the thing that I recommend doing is go to this bottom drop down menu and go to custom and set your resolution slider. You can see at the top right, my FPS is going up as I go down in this. What I recommend is somewhere between 50 and 70, depending on your resolution and what kind of performance targets you're looking at getting. I recommend putting the sharpness kind of high. I'm gonna put it at 1. Keep in mind, once you get out of this, don't go back into it. Keep it the same. Don't change anything, because if you keep going back into the settings, like I said, they're gonna stack on top of each other, and the game's gonna start performing poorly. So now we're gonna press play. We're going to get into the lobby. So a couple notes about the server system. So you'll press find a game. You'll refresh results. All that works as it should. But if you make a lobby, let's say you and your friends play and you got 4 people. If you make a lobby and then come back to and play your match completely and finish it and come back here, and somebody has to leave, your game will not be visible anymore. If there's a full match or a match in play, it's not going to show up on here. That's one of the issues they're having, and they're working on fixing it. If somebody's having an issue joining a server, if somebody clicks on a server and they're getting the error code, all they have to do is create a server real quick and then go back to the lobby, and that resets it, and they're able to join everything just fine. Now, when you press create server, you'll see some options here. Right now there's only standard. You can't rename your lobby just yet. The game duration refers to the entire match, the 2 full rounds combined. So this, by default, it's set to 10 minutes. That means 2 5-minute rounds. Obviously 2 7-minute rounds, 2 20-minute rounds. Most people prefer 22 10-minute rounds. So make sure you click that. This obviously does what you think it does. Most people set it to 5. You can of course adjust the lives of each team. You can make it private. You can set it to LAN. Here you can change the map. When you get into the lobby itself, actually, the only thing you can change is the map. You can't change the game settings. That's by design. So they do have presets. Make sure you save. For instance, if you go to load one, and if you make changes, whatever you do, just make sure that you save it when you're done. If you want to save this as preset loadout 1, make sure you click that, and then it's going to save as loadout 1. Because if you load preset 2 and go to load preset 3 and you don't press the save, it's not going to save any of your settings. So just make sure you're always pressing that save setting. Quick note about the Reaper settings. If you go to Armory, you can customize the Reaper's weapons. You can pick from, 3 weapons right now. Shotgun, SMG, assault rifle. I recommend on all your weapons selecting the crosshair reticle. Some of the other ones don't tend to work all the time or at all. I know this one doesn't work at all, at least for me. And some of these choose when they want to work. So I recommend using this. The colors seem to work, but the reticle size doesn't seem to work. So I'm going to set this as my primary. I'm going to go to the SMG. I'm going to do the same thing. I like blue. And I'm going to set that as my secondary. And I'm going to save as this is loadout 1. And then you're good to go. Alright, so you're in the game. You're sneaking around. You're playing as a Spectre. A couple quick notes. The camera can be adjusted. If you press and hold shift and then do the scroll wheel, you can zoom in and out. And if you press control and alter the scroll wheel, you can raise it up and down. This resets every time you die, so you just have to remember for now what camera setting you like, set it as soon as you spawn, and rock and roll.